Hello folks, this is Jack Stanley speaking, and this is a pre-maiden voyage portrait of what was going to be the Imperator, which was with the Hamburg American Line and would make its maiden voyage in 1913. This idealized picture was created in late 1912 and demonstrates the size of the liner, which would be the largest in the world. A couple of things to point out here. We can take a look at a little symbolism here. Of course, this is showing us, you'll see the date of 1847 there, and you have, that is the sailing ship. And of course, this, 1913, we have the Imperator, and of course its name is right there. Now of course the ship would end up looking quite a bit different than this. It wouldn't look quite like this when it was released. But there's a couple of interesting factors in this advertisement. First off, when this ship was being designed, of course it was being built at the time of the Titanic. It came out a year after the Titanic, and so when this portrait was painted initially, there's some aspects of it that are kind of interesting. First off, take a look here at all the lifeboats, and more back there, some up there in the front, and you can see them. They stand out very strongly. And up here, although they don't have it here, what they would have eventually is a spotlight up by the crow's nest so they can find icebergs before they hit it. Another thing about this portrait, which in reality would be, to make the ship the longest in the world, they added a little extension, a hood ornament one might say, this rather ugly looking thing here in the front, which is very bizarre looking and would be on the ship for a short while and then knocked off by a big wave during a storm. Now eventually the superstructure, when the ship was released, was not all white like this with the bow all white. It would be quite different, and you'll be seeing in other portraits a better representation. As I said, this is probably a painting done in 1912 and set up for the release of the Imperator, which was the first of what they were calling the Big Three. There was going to be the Imperator, the Vaterland, and lastly the Bismarck. Now, of course, something got in between there called World War I that would change everything. But this is a really fantastic advertising print, and one that would be useful for just a short while, because all of these ships, in fact the Bismarck never even got out before World War I, they wouldn't serve for a long time under the names in which they had been given. This ship right here in 1913 was called the Imperator. By September of 1914, it's not sailing anymore because World War I has started, and it would never sail again under that name, Imperator. It would be taken by the British as reparations and called the RMS Berengaria, and she would sail until like around 1938. But this is her in her first incarnation in this very early advertising print from 1912. Thank you.